Beacon a few weeks later. Combat class. Ruby, hey, I wonder who our teacher is? Yang. I hope it's not Port. The ugly old man winked at me. Asterisk shudders asterisk. Weiss. Hardly something to be disturbed about. Yang. I hope he winks at you next. Let's see how far your talk takes you. Weiss humped and turned away. Yang. So partners still have your nose in your book. Blake. Hey, I don't bother you when you're fixing your hair. Don't bother me while I'm reading. Nora. I hope he has pancakes. Kira. Nora, I don't think he'll have any. Run. There's no explaining to Nora. Then they heard someone from behind and saw. There's no longer any reason to hide his old attire since this planet is so out of touch with the old empire, even the new republic. John, you're here to learn, not socialize. If you don't like it, get out. They look at the man, all shocked he would say that. John, it took you all 8 seconds to quiet down your too irrational. If you think I will be a pushover like Port or Oblek, you got another thing coming to you all. Chat in your free time, not my class. Blake then looks at the man, intensely mistaking his temple guard mask for a white fang mask. Weiss. Sir, your voice seemed to be too young to be a teacher. Then another voice came from behind them. Ashpin. You are correct, Miss Schnee, he is just 21 years old. But he is certified to be your advanced combat discipline instructor. I'm just here to solidify his claim. John, if you're done, I would like to begin this semester. Ashpin. I am, and good luck. Then murmurs filled the room. John mumbles, problem children, all of them. John. Alright, let me introduce myself. I am John Ark, and I will be your homeroom teacher from here on. Then the eyes of another blonde on the room widen as dinner plates. Carden raised his hand. Carden, sir, I don't believe you can teach us anything, since you're in the same age bracket as us. John, would you like a demonstration? Then come down here in the arena and I'll show you. Carden smirks as he leaves for the lockers. The students began chatting again as John sighs. Then Carden came strutting out to the arena with a confident smirk. Carden, we'll see that you're all bark and no bite. John, all right, children learn something from this little lesson I will be teaching. Carden took his stance. John then turns on the screen to show their aura meters. John, all right, we will not employ tournament rules, since this is advanced combat discipline. Keyword discipline. I will teach you all you need to survive in the field. Do not take this as simple practice. Then he turns his attention to the class idiot, and he draws his weapon out, the beam saber. Ruby. Oh, what is it? Jaune. Yeah. During class, refrain from making unnecessary noise. Speak to me later when you have further questions. Ruby nods rapidly. Yang just shakes her head. Blake still staring at the new teacher. Weiss was paying attention and taking notes. The blonde, who was shocked about his name, is now watching his every move like a hawk. This girl is Jean Arc. Kira was studying the stances and how will the fight progress. Ren was stoic at his usual. Nora was vibrating in her seat, chanting, break some legs. Then John took his stance, deeming his opponent to be severely lacking in skill, opted for Form I, the simplest form of them all. John, match, set, start. Carden made the first move and charged him as John simply stood still at the very last moment. As Carden swung down, he spun and twirled behind Carden. He didn't strike, because Carden, as he then recovered and swings at his face, John then knelt and pushed his momentum forward as he gains distance. Carden growled as he was hitting nothing but air. John calmly stood waiting for another attack. Carden grins as he clicks a button on his mace. John notices the change in energy around Carden as he shifts his form B to reflect incoming attacks. Carden went in for a swing as his mace glows red, and when it made contact with John's sword, an explosion occurred as the volatile fire dust went off. A cloud of smoke erupted, and they saw a body flew out. As the body crashes on the floor, and it was identified as Carden, who was covered in soot. When the dust cleared, John was still standing where he was before, unfazed by the explosion. Kira, he's good. Really good. Yang. Oh, I really want to take him on now. John. Lesson 1. No matter how strong you think you are, someone out there will always be stronger than you. Yang. Unli Kelly. John. Talk back to me again, and you're next down here. Could the rest of Team CRDL pick up your leader and send him to the infirmary? The team did as they were told and leaves the arena. John. Tomorrow our class will undergo a physical aptitude test, and fair warning, the student who comes in last will be expelled. RWBY, what? You can't do that. That's unfair. John. Lesson 2. Life is unfair. Calamities, natural disasters, bandits, thieves, criminals, and grim. You children want to be heroes? A hero overcomes all challenges, and it's their duty to make the world a fair place. The bell suddenly rings. John. That concludes our lesson. Class dismissed. After the majority leaves Team JNPR along with Team RWBY walks towards him. Jean stepped forward. Jean. You said your name is John Ark? John. Yes. I am. Jean. You don't happen to be taken from your family? John. I was taken to a training temple to be taught to be a warrior. A sentinel, so to speak. Jean, can you remove your mask? Please? John thinks for a second. Well, this place is completely off the radar. He then removes his mask to reveal a young man who seemed to have been through a war. John, you must be the youngest. I wasn't there when you were born, I suppose. Jean cries as she hugs him. Jean, big brother. John, who is used to so many things, was caught off guard. Being detached from his emotions for so long has made him awkward to many feelings and emotions. He awkwardly hugs back. Kira, excuse me. Are you the Ark that went missing years ago? John, yes. Ren. Well, this is a nice family reunion. John, quite. Blake, you said you were taken to a temple. Are you a priest of sorts? John, you can call it anything you want. I was trained to be a warrior foremost. And don't think I didn't notice you staring at my masked kid. If you're inferring I'm a part of the white fan, you couldn't be more wrong. Since I'm human, and the clothing I wear is the garb of the warrior sentinels who keep watch over the innocent. RWBY, can I ask a question? Jaune, procède. RWBY, what is your weapon and how does it work? John raises an eyebrow. Yang, please be patient with her, she's a weapon nut. He nods and pulls out judgment. John, it is a two-handed Zwizer handler, and what you're seeing is in its collapsus form. If I activated it, actually extends to its full length as hard light flows through its edges to create its sharpness. Capable of melting through solid metals. The team cringes at its capability. John, don't worry, when fighting people I don't activate it. And since I never used my lightsaber on living organisms. RWBY stares at the weapon with stars in her eyes. Yang, don't worry, that's normal. Vice, excusez-me. How did you even become a teaching staff here? You seem a bit too young. John, Headmaster Ashbin himself came to me and offered me a teaching job here. RWBY, I'm just glad to see him again. He was a cool guy, he kept me safe from that robbery last time I was in Vale. Yang, you mean he fought Torchwick? John, yes. And I do recall meeting you, Miss Rose. Next time call the authorities, then acting as a vigilante. Ashbin already took your action as catalyst for your enrollment. RWBY scratches the back of her head. RWBY, hee hee hee. John, it's good to see you, Jean. I suppose you're gonna tell our family I'm here? Jean, yes, it'll bring some hope for them knowing you're alive and well. The family was broken after you were taken. Jaune contemplates the Jedi way of taking children just because they were Force-sensitive. The Jedi were basically kidnapping children to join their cult. Jaune, as you wish. I'm looking forward to seeing them all again. The day ends as a new teacher was hired to keep the kids from getting into trouble.